you personally handling the crunch of games ahead of the Cup and then eventually after the Cup, given that the schedule is so truncated, given that you guys are going out overseas this year?
Yeah. One game at a time, one practice at a time, one conversation at a time. Obviously, you do have to plan for these things, but right now our first priority is getting to Vegas safely, and then playing the Knicks on Saturday at 2:30. That's the priority, and as we move forward, we'll look at it, making sure our guys are recovering the right way, getting the rest that they need as we move forward.
You're playing the Knicks again. What do you make of that matchup? Just recently facing them in New York and fourth time already.
No, I think it's great. I think it's a great opportunity to make some adjustments to the things that you saw during that game in both the wins and the losses, or the loss. So our ability to just see where we can adjust and do things better, the things that worked, and kind of double down on those.
Coach, your group earned a trip there. It wasn't given. How much pride does your group take in the fact that you were able to accomplish that goal?
Our guys, they take a ton of pride in that. We've talked about it at practice. We talked about it post-game. They've talked about it amongst each other. Just the resiliency, the focus level that they have in these Cup games, understanding and knowing the stakes at hand, and the things that the result on the back end of it, what you get, the reward from it. So I think our guys are really taking a lot of pride in that.
We're still just 25 games into the season as a whole, but how have these Cup games kind of helped focus this group bring this group together, having some meaningful games to kind of help build some chemistry and camaraderie?
Yeah, I've talked to a couple coaches that have played in the Cup game before. Obviously Coach Joe has been there twice, so the ability that what it creates for our guys is, there's another a part of chemistry that is created by traveling together, being in Vegas together, having dinners together, being around each other even more so. And then you talk about the reward that you get from being in that game, that these guys all look at it, and they that's part of it. That's a big portion of it.
You guys have had success in the Cup before in group play and getting to the knockout round last year. How does that help? How did that help kind of bring the team? You didn't get to Vegas the last 2 years, but how did that help bring the team together to prepare for the journey ahead with about 60 games left?
Yeah, I think every experience that you go through, prepares you for whatever's next. Obviously playing New York, to beat East Question, playing them for the fourth time prepares you for the next game that you're going to play them. Being in the Cup scenarios last year prepares you for that, the heightened focus, the heightened detail, the attention to detail, all those things you look at, but you got to make sure you reflect on it the right way and take the things that you need to improve on and go from there.
Coach, you talked about this group's willingness to step up into any given role on any given night, no matter what's being asked of them. I think that has been used the term selfless. I think you've used it too. How unique is that when you think about maybe other teams you've coached? Like, is that a really unique aspect to have so many selfless players on one team?
I mean, it is unique for us. I mean, but you talk about, Jeff and his group and who they bring in. You talk about the character first. And these guys with great character, guys that have a care factor, guys that want to see the man next to them succeed. And I think when you bring in guys like that, it's easy to define the roles of what's needed. So even when guys are in or guys are out, you can establish what those roles are, and guys accept it because they know it's about, the bottom line is that you're trying to find the best way to win and put the guys in a position to be successful.
How much do you think that your guys would like to show the basketball-loving world, who maybe you haven't seen as much of them as some other teams, what they've built here and what they can accomplish?
Yeah, our guys are so focused in on getting better every day, and our process of the way of doing things, that what others' opinions are of us, they're there, but I think we continue to try to focus on what we can control, and what we control is how we step on that court every single night. And some people will like it, some people won't, but I think our ability to just focus on us and our process of getting better every day, I think that's the one thing that our guys just are going to stay true to.
Jalen said that winning the NBA Cup was a goal that was set. Maybe it was just him who said it. I don't know if you guys talk about it as a team. Do you talk about that as a team, setting winning the NBA Cup as a goal? And to get this far, to win away from it, what does that do for the psyche of this team? These processes are working.
It does a lot for the group. You won't take anything away from it. It's our guys really they want to win. Their competitive edge, competitive nature, they have that about them. And so when you add the stakes and increase them a little bit more, there is that. And it's interesting you say that they want to win the cup, because I was just joking with Wendell the other day in the Milwaukee game. I believe it was last year, maybe 2 years ago. The Dame shot that knocks down the three that changes the trajectory of it in some ways. So I think guys remember that, and then they know they can continue to add, and now you have an opportunity to go get it. That is definitely put out there within the group.
What do you think of
this team is still like in that underdog mentality, or do you feel like you guys are reaching like that next level of being the ones that are hunting?
I think we're going to continue to stay a level of underdog, that we always have something to prove to ourselves, and that are we following what we need to do in order to be great. I think that's always what this group has in that mentality. That's why you see they fight from the beginning of the game to the end of the game, that you're never going to be out of it.
What do you think of the neutral site aspect of this thing?
I think it's great. I think the league is continuing to do a great job of finding the right thing for not just the players, but for the fans and the engagement of them to be able to support what this cup is.
How much of an impact does Wendell have in the areas that don't show up really on the box score?
Josh, that's a great statement, because it's so true about him. And you can't measure what he does just from him when he walks in the building, and how his energy provides energies to others. He's selfless, and to your point, he's selfless in what he does and how he goes about it. He guards the team's best big men. He's able to switch on some of the team's best guards and sit down and guard. How many possessions has he ended up in the end of games where he comes up with a big offensive rebound? And those are just small plays within a game that he changes it. But his impact is huge for this group all around.
What kind of physical toll does he absorb? He takes a pounding down there, correct?
Absolutely.
I didn't ask the question well. I was surprised. How much of a pounding does he take? And how much physicality does he get?
I say I
out?
think he gives out more than he gets. That's the way I like to look at it. That's why his presence is so powerful for us, because of when he gives that out, it sets the tone for who we are.
How is
He was coming into the season healthier than he had been.
Yeah.
How much of an impact has that been on this start to the year?
He had a full summer. I think that says a lot for him. Him being able to master his craft in the summer, knowing exactly what he's want to do, both mentally and physically. He's done a great job of that, and him having the healthy summer was a big portion of that.
How was the healthier team besides Ron's and Mo?
Guys are, everyone's beat up and banged up, early in the season, but I think guys are, bouncing back and playing through.
Yeah, there's been a theme of slow starts over the past couple of games, and then obviously you have the 15-0 start in Miami. You started AB instead of Tristan. What kind of went into that decision, and how fluid is the starting lineup going into these cup games?
We're always going to look at different things, but I think consistency is very important, especially in these games, that guys can know, when they're coming in, when they're coming out, the combinations on the floor, especially with guys being out. We're going to look at different options, different situations, different times within the game, but that's just part of rotation.
Airplane.
We have to fly. We do got to catch a plane. All right. Long flight.